Well, I never thought I'd ever say this, but I am quite looking forward to going back to school. Karen, thank you so much for having me back here to my old school. What was back in the day the boys' high school, but that's all changed.
It has. We've been co-ed now for quite a number of years, well over 20, and we're now named Colchester Prep High School. So we're really pleased to have our youngest children from age 2 all the way through to 16 coming through our doors.
Now, you've been very kind to give me a tour of the school. I've managed to find the classroom that I began life here in 1974. The teacher was called Mrs. Wood. We've spotted it up there.
Fantastic.
And so much of the architecture here and the feel of the place remains the same, which is surprising given how many years ago it was that I and my chums were here.
Oh, and I think that's lovely. And I think what we want to do in 140 years of education at the school is maintain what was true. So the buildings, as you say, the architecture, the essence of the education, focusing on the whole child, that holistic education is still very much centre as we educate children with their heads and their souls. It's fantastic that you've come back to see the school and hopefully to see some of the many elements that were there when you were here.
Well, I mean, educationally, it is transformed from anything I can recall. I mean, you've got a science block, you're doing drama, you're doing so many other outreach programs out into the community and further educational establishments. When I was here, it was school dinners, it was maths, English, a bit of sport, and maybe a bit of woodwork if you were lucky, and some art with a fabulous art teacher called Mrs. Hudson, no relation, but she came in with whiskey and her flask of coffee.
Well, we don't have any of that now. It's safe to say we've removed that. But what we are totally proud of is our steam-powered future readiness.
Yeah.
You know, our children coming through the doors today, who knows what the world ahead of them is going to be sort of forbearing for them. But of course, what we want is for all our children to thrive as they come through the doors. So our focus on STEAM blends some of the subjects you talk about, the sciences, the maths, but places the arts really at the heart for those creative mindsets for our children to succeed.
But you know what's wonderful? We've got the noise of the children in the background. This site has echoed to the noise of children playing for over 140 odd years now in the heart of Colchester. I'm very proud to have been a part of it, but when I look around this playground, I mean, here I am at 53, I can still see the young faces of my old friends.
Well, that's really, really nice to hear, and I think this is a place where friendships are really forged. Placing kindness at the heart of all of our values enables our children to make friends really for life. And what we've been delighted about is having generations after generations of families resending their children here for those same core values to go off and lead their lives.
And let's see if I can remember the school motto. God first, others second, self last.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Well done. That still rings true, but we've, if you like, moved forwards and we now create the change makers of tomorrow's world. We want our children really to have, if you like, the self-belief, the confidence to challenge and to create the futures they want to see.
Well, thank you so much for having me back. We're going to continue looking around, I know, but this has been an absolute treat. Not just a trip down memory lane, but somewhere that I just think reminds me of where it all began, but where those values that I've tried to take forward over the next 50 odd years began as well. Thank you so much, Karen.
It's been an absolute pleasure to have you back to your old school.
Yeah, my old school, your school now.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Now, one thing I never had here, ever, from the headmaster or anyone else, was a cup of coffee. What are the chances?
Chances are really high. Thank you very much.